So I believe that humanity is a little bit heartbroken right now, and that the world needs a whole lot of love. 1 in 5 new mothers is diagnosed with postnatal depression. 1 in 10 new fathers has a mental health challenge. Every 11 minutes, somewhere in the world, a child takes their own life. Every 11 minutes. Now, this is completely unacceptable, and we have to do something about this now. And what's really interesting is, as well as we having this mental health epidemic, the global wellness industry is now valued at $7 trillion. So as adults, we're trying to help ourselves, we're trying to heal ourselves and make ourselves feel better, but we're simply not moving the needle. And I believe there's a way to mend humanity's broken heart, and it's something that I've been in devotion to for the last 20 years, and it's something that can save the world in just 1,001 days. And that thing is babies. So, babies are the future. Let me introduce you to our leaders, our innovators, change makers, caretakers, parents, creatives. Babies are the future, and the future is literally in our hands. Now, what science and research tells us is there's a critical window of opportunity in the first 1,001 days of life, which is from conception to 2. And during this time, the amount of love and nurturing care we have helps us reach our full potential. And this is because in the first 1,001 days of life, babies' brains are growing at the fastest rate that they ever will do. Emotional intelligence is developing, and babies are learning about the world through relationship. How we experience the first 1,001 days of life profoundly affects the other 30,000 days of our lives. It's as simple as we reap what we sow, and it's better to raise strong, happy, healthy, resilient children than to fix broken, stressed out, overwhelmed adults. We've got to start looking at the beginning rather than the end. Now, I want to ask you a question. Can you please raise your hand if you've ever been a baby? Okay. So if you've ever been a baby, that means that once upon a time, you came into this world as a divine spark of consciousness with the creative potential to do anything and be anything. Now, I believe that that creative potential is love, and that babies are the embodiment of this. Now, if you've ever spent time with a baby, you will know that they are wise, they are connected to the moment, they are completely in their bodies, they communicate their needs, they're honest, non-judgmental, and they're accepting of us completely. Babies are powerful teachers because they help us to remember what we've forgotten, which is that we are 100% love. So if we have the creative potential to do anything and be anything, why aren't we living in a world that's happy and healthy and connected and peaceful? Well, science tells us that there are 2 factors that profoundly affect how we flourish in life, and that is nature, which is our biology, our genes, our lineage, and nurture, which is our parents, our family, and society. So this is why nurturing care in the first 1,001 days can change the world. So what's happening to us during that time? Well, the first environment that you come into is that of your mother's womb. And here you're profoundly affected by the health and well-being of your mother. So that's going to be to do with her age, her race, her educational status, her economic status, her access to clean water, sanitation, food security, and also her exposure to things like violence, war, stress, negativity. What is happening to your mother is also happening to you. And then you're born. And that can be an isolating process where the first person you ever meet is someone from the medical profession who is there to assess you to how much you weigh, how responsive you are, and whether you are normal. Then you get to meet your parents, and that sounds really exciting, except if you're a parent, you might be able to relate to the fact that before your baby's even born, you're projecting your dreams, your wishes, your desires, perhaps unfulfilled within yourself, onto your baby. Plus, parents are affected by the way they are parented, their own subconscious beliefs and patterns, and also how parenting is viewed within society. And if we look at UK society, there is a push for babies to be independent and self-sufficient at a far too early age that goes against our mammalian instinct to slowly evolve in close proximity to our parent and caregiver with love to build up trust and safety and regulate our nervous system. And if you're a baby and you're born on this very day, right now, you're coming into the world with war, with climate change, with mental health issues. So we're not creating the best welcoming party for babies. But there is good news. And that is that we get to change this every day because humanity renews itself. Over 350,000 new babies arrive on the planet. So if we focus on love and nurturing care in the first 1,001 days of life, we can nurture the future one baby at a time. Now, my message over the last 20 years is a simple one. And that is that love creates love. If we love, nurture, and support parents, they have a greater capacity to love, nurture, and support babies who grow to know that the world is a loving, nurturing, and supportive place. And then they interact with their peers and their friends with these values. And this is how we create humanity, by the values that we embody and teach our babies and our children. Now, I discovered this work over 20 years ago when I became a new parent for the first time. So I was a nervous, kind of anxious new mum. My daughter Emily was a bit stressed and she was very colicky. When you put those two things together, it can be quite intense. So a friend of mine said, "Why don't you go to a baby massage class?" So I said, yes. And in that one class, in that 60 minutes, my whole life changed, because that was the first time that I truly connected with my daughter Emily through nurturing touch. And I came out of my head and I went into my heart and I felt all of my feelings for the first time. I let go of the expectations of what parenting might be and decided to just be in the experience of co-creation with Emily and let Emily teach me. I decided to give up what I should be doing and just be completely myself. And it was such a profound moment of surrender and trust and release that I just wanted to share this with as many people as I possibly could. So 60 minutes later, I decided to give up my career as a project finance lawyer in the city and train to teach love as a baby massage instructor. Now, that was over 20 years ago, and I've built my global organization, Blossom and Berry, to be now a global family of over 2,000 teachers across the world, teaching the power of love, connection, nurturing touch, massage and yoga, and nurturing practices. And together, as a global community, we touch the hearts of millions of babies. So why is our work so powerful? Well, because nurturing touch puts love into action. Because nurturing touch is cross-cultural, intergenerational, and based on our mammalian instinct to connect and care for each other. And science tells us there are 5 key components that help to create a loving relationship with babies. And that is eye contact, how much you're gazing at your baby, the sound of your voice, how you share stories and sing songs, smell when you're holding your baby close to you, touch, which can be baby wearing, cuddles, or baby massage, and oxytocin, which is known as the love hormone because it chemically helps you fall in love with your baby. So these 5 things are so powerful in creating the first happy, healthy relationship, and all of them are found when you practice baby massage. And so we ask parents, we invite parents, are you getting your 5 a day? Not your fruit and vegetables, but are you getting your 5 key connection points with your baby? Because this is the foundation of infant mental health. And we talk about creating a love bubble with your baby. And this is a sacred space that parents hold for their babies, where they come and they bring their full attention, their focus, their presence, and their love, which is the greatest gift you could ever give your child. And babies receive all of this and know that they are seen, they are heard, they're respected, and they're understood. It is so, so powerful, and yet so simple. Now, parents are mirrors for babies. So we have a concept called the love loop, which explains that when babies are reaching out to communicate with us, how they experience the world is through our reactions, our responses, our feelings, our emotions. So this is why we have to safeguard parental mental health, because it is infant mental health, and we can't nurture babies if we aren't nurturing parents. So this is the other part of the work that we do around the world. We create safe spaces and community for parents and carers to gather together. And I call myself a village visionary because I'm here to raise the value of the village and create new spaces for parents and babies to come together. Now, a lot of the world and a lot of parents feel like they're parenting in isolation, and this is really bad for our mental health and well-being. Only 200 years ago, we used a concept called allo-parenting, where parenting was shared amongst 5 or 6 people within the community. So if you imagine that a baby is the seed of potential, it is planted into the communal soil of the community. And together, it's tended to, and it's nurtured, and it's cross-fertilized with all the skills and abilities of each individual person. And in that way, parenting is not a burden, it becomes a joy. Now, I had 3 beautiful children in 3.5 years, and that could have been a very intense experience, but I was very lucky because I had an incredible family that helped me, and I had lots of friends, and I was in community. But that is a rare and a privilege nowadays. So what we do is try to create these new spaces for parents and babies to come together. So in COVID, when parents couldn't gather and we were all experiencing social isolation, we created a class called Tree Babies. And this invited parents to come outside into nature and to connect to themselves, their feelings and their emotions, connect to their babies through baby wearing, connect to each other in stories and experiences, and connect to nature, which we know is the most powerful medicine to help to bring us into peace and to support our mental health and well-being. We now have over 300 Tree Babies teachers around the world who are holding these spaces. I went to Mexico to set up a project to support babies with Down syndrome. And that was an amazing experience because the babies absolutely loved the nurturing touch. But what we weren't expecting was that the parents were profoundly affected by the experience because they had never seen another baby that looked like theirs. And they'd never met another parent who'd had that experience. They thought they were completely alone. And in that one class, they went from the me to the we, and they found the others. And it was one of the most incredibly emotional moments of the whole time that I've been a teacher. And then 10 years ago, I went out to Malawi to set up a project to support infant mental health with some of the most vulnerable parents and babies in poverty. Now, I was really cautious about doing this because I didn't want to bring something alien into the culture. So I empowered Malawian women to hold space for other Malawian women. And then I let them integrate the practice into their culture and their community. When I came back 6 months later, I arrived at the spot where they were gathering, and they were singing beautiful songs. So I asked the translator, what does this song mean? And they said, they're singing, baby massage makes my baby's heart grow stronger. Baby massage helps my baby's brain grow. And I knew that they'd taken this practice and they'd made it their own. Now, after that, because they'd gathered together and created this bond, they started their own family farming project, which meant that they could feed themselves sustainably. And some of the women from those first baby massage groups set up their own entrepreneurial businesses too. So the value of the village cannot be underestimated. So I want to finish today by sharing my most favorite quote in the world. And this is framed and it hangs on my wall so I can see it every single day. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family, by Mother Teresa. We are all babies. We are all one family. We all make up humanity. Infant mental health is everyone's mental health, and we can change the world with love if we all play our part, because love creates love. Thank you very much.